So, you're part of a 4-man space crew that has to collect random junk from moons and bring it back to the company that you work for. Why? We don't know either. All we know is that you can travel between different moons on your autopiloted ship. There are icy moons, rocky moons, moons terrorized by storms, and even moons that are literally just water. You eat, sleep, shit on the ship, and it acts like a central point where the crew members have to return after collecting scrap from every moon. Oh yeah, there's also a shit ton of monsters on the moon that can kill you, like a blind dog or a slender man on 10 ounces of coke. Inside the ship, there are various posters which tell you to preserve food, hinting at some sort of famine or economic crash in the past. There also lies the company's terminal, where you can exchange stuff using company credits, the only currency you have. But here's where shit starts to go crazy. When you have a good look at the terminal, you learn that its timeline does not match yours. In fact, the first journal entry in the terminal was more than 600 years ago in 1968, which is literally before humans could ever travel to the moon. From the terminal computer, we can access Sigurd's logs, which are basically tapes containing information about an old space crew that had served on this ship in 1968. The logs tell you the story of Sigurd. Sigurd was an ambitious young guy who had just joined the crew after his father had forced him to get off his ass and get a job. Thus, he ended up working for the company because, well, no one else wanted his broke ass. After joining the company, he gets along alright with his new crewmates, Desmond, Richard, and Jess, who are basically here for the same reason. They all seem cool, except Rich. He smells like shit. Over time, Sigurd gradually starts to get suspicious of his new job when he starts hearing horrific psychotic noises behind company walls when they go to deliver their crap.
Sticking out your yacht for the river.
And no, it wasn't a furry orgy fest, but the thing is, his crewmates could not hear any of them, so maybe Sigurd is high on some space shrooms. Anyways, all of this makes him realize that the voice he had talked to over the phone while applying for the job sounded nothing like a human. It was very robotic. Additionally, besides the available logs, there's also some hidden logs. The hidden logs show that Sigurd begins to think that there's some freakishly huge monster behind the company walls, and it can eat everything from random space junk to actual human beings. Sigurd starts talking to one of the voices behind the company wall with his walkie-talkie, and it replied telling him that a certain golden planet was swallowed up whole by the beast, and now it's trying to digest it. Hence the voices inside the company. Jess thinks Sigurd has gone batshit insane and tries to reassure him that the golden planet is just a myth, which is basically the start of every horror movie ever. Needless to say, Sigurd is absolutely losing his marbles at this point, but something even worse is about to go down. Richard was killed by a Bracken during a routine operation. This horrifies the group and they did, fast. Later on, when Sigurd calls the company to inform them of Rich's demise, the same robotic-ass voice replies in a pre-recorded message that they'll be sending in a replacement shortly. Yeah, a crew member just got his neck snapped by a huge flower monster. No big deal. Desmond then tries to determine the voice's location by tracing the phone call, but oh, hey, another twist. It's out of reach and apparently they're calling from across the solar system. So it looks like the crew's all alone with whatever is behind the company walls. And of course, all the aliens, monsters, ghosts are ready to tear them to pieces on every moon. Oh, Sigurd also had a bad dream about the monster breaking free and eating his ass. Finally, in Sigurd's last log, says that his new crewmate Lucas is scared shitless of his new job. He also wonders if there's an actual monster behind the company walls and if their real job is to just keep it fed. In the end, the final log is written by Desmond, and he says that he has encrypted the log stronger than a teen's homework folder. He is absolutely certain that the crew's actual job is to feed an incredible terror, and that it's somehow connected to all of the moons they visit. Oh, and Sigurd? Yeah, he's dead. One thing's for sure, the company is hiding a lot of shit from its employees. But what exactly is the company? Well, you can have a glimpse of it whenever you meet your daily quota of items and head back to collect your credits. The company apparently has an endless cycle of employees working for it, which are replaced upon the death of the previous ones. And by the looks of it, this happens more often than it should. The company is located on an ocean moon and is spread out over a mile, looking like a singular solid block. And every time you visit, there is a good chance of getting killed by a giant tentacled monster behind the scrap collection counter. No, not that kind. So, besides the tentacled item collector, extremely creepy atmosphere, robotic employee support representatives, and the strangely torturous voices coming from behind the walls, the company seems pretty normal. Yay, modern corporate slavery. There seem to be many more mysteries in the world of Lethal Company. Some monsters like Coilhead seem man-made. There is also a lot of turrets and mines inside the facilities. Who put these here and for what purpose? Why would someone make something like the Coilhead in the first place? Well, all of this seems to point to a war that happened sometime in the past. Maybe between the humans that lived in these facilities and the monsters that now inhabit them? Not too hard to guess who won. Oh, and there's a mysterious ghost girl who appears at random. The thing is, nothing is known about her origin and you can't even scan or hurt her. If she picks to haunt you, you're pretty much screwed because no other crewmate can see her. Everyone else will think you're tripping. There is also this submarine-like dildo-shaped vessel on the ocean moon just beneath the company. The vessel has the words "Don't Tell" stamped on it. It appears to serve no particular purpose, but perhaps with the help of some additional components, it could be used as a drill or a laser to reach the company walls and finally see what's inside. The mystery still remains though. Who put it there? And if they wanted to get inside the company, what stopped them from doing it? These are questions that are difficult to answer, but are interesting to speculate. Subscribe and like this video, or I'll sneak a bracket in your local elementary school.